Hey everyone, Eric Watson here, and this is a gameplay recording for Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, the HD remaster released in 2020 by THQ Nordic. This game originally came out in 2012, designed by the ill-fated 38 Studios. I encourage you to do a Google search and look up the plans that studio had, which was for a pretty big budget MMO based on this universe. But in order to get there, they decided to make a action RPG first, and that's this game, and it was pretty good. In fact, I dare say this is one of the most underrated games to come out in the Xbox 360 PS3 era. Really fun combat that was full of combos. It's got the kind of loot system of a Diablo, and the gameplay structure of something like World of Warcraft, really. And the art style especially screams that kind of colorful World of Warcraft art, which I really do love that. We're just kind of in an era where a lot of action games follow the Souls model, which I think has really fun gameplay, but they're all just the kind of same dark, gritty, vaguely Lovecraftian horror. And just this is really traditional fantasy and kind of like more of the Fable games. So the gameplay, it really, if you took the best elements of World of Warcraft, Diablo, and Skyrim, you would basically come up with Kingdoms of Amalur. It's a lot of fun. I'm currently in a dungeon. This is a level, let's see, what level are you? I'm a level 6, and I went full finesse build. So the game has 3 different skill trees, which are here: might, finesse, and sorcery. Basically, you can go more fighter, more rogue, or more wizard. Now, you're never locked in, which is cool. You can actually mix and match these abilities as much as you want, including all these skill trees. And in fact, the game encourages you to do that because you can basically create your own class. You can see here any combination of the other classes give you some kind of benefits, just depending. And so it's all just point-based. It's very much the Skyrim model. You don't have to choose a class. You just choose the skills that you want and can combine them with whatever you like. And the gameplay, combat-wise, not really Souls-like, but it is very much based on the weapons you're using. And I believe there are, out of the 3 skill trees, I think each one has 3 weapons you can choose from. So this is a finesse, primarily a finesse character who is using daggers right now. You can see I've got a pretty big dodge, and that ability right there is I'm timing my dagger thrusts to get off those attacks. So I've got that one, and I've got another one I can show off as well. Let's see. So let's look at the map. Okay, I'm going up this way. It's definitely one where you grab a whole bunch of quest objectives and you run through. This is a podcast game. Like the story is not why you play this game at all. And that's kind of unfortunately true of a lot of open world RPGs. This one's actually a little less open world. That guy took care of business. Than others. Nobody's afraid of giant spiders also. As far as giant spiders go though, big, colorful, not too scary. Let's see if I can get off the, this one's kind of tricky. There we go. It's kind of a cool teleporting move. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. I'm still pretty early game. This is, this character's about 6 or 7 hours in at this point. And I have another character I'll show you in a second, which is all a sorcerer-based character, who is about as far as this one in almost half the time because I've just kind of been skipping through the story. And honestly, the writing's fine. It's just very generic fantasy. And obviously you can see where the game has been HDified, which is nice, but, there's only so much that you're going to do for a game that's as old as this one. It does very much look like, I was going to say last gen, but we're currently in the middle of a generational shift, so the 360 PS3 era.
The only one left. My men and I were ambushed when we entered the cave.
It just very much comes from the Warcraft school of exaggerated characters and really fancy-looking armor and weapons, and I really like that. I think it's very appealing. I think it ages very well. I like the color. I like the comic book style of the bombastic animations for combat. All that's really fun.
bloody widow for all I know, but Canorock needs...
And the game goes really hard with, you know, it had, I think, was it Salvatore that was a writer on here, or Greenwood, one of the D&D people, actually like wrote for them. Like they got a whole bunch of really good developers to work on it. Oh, I don't remember. Oh yeah, I guess I could have saved this guy. Let's side with this guy.
Damn. This whole suicide mission was his idea.
Yeah, it
We need
was.
to tell Canorock what has happened here and deal with Garena.
So there's a few choices you can make, but for the most part, you're kind of just skipping through the story. I mean, you know, the voice acting is fine. It kind of suffers from the Skyrim model where, you know, they only have so many voices for everybody. I actually don't have a fire thing to get through this. You can see my arms are glowing because I've got this poison buff currently equipped, which is why my mana bar up there in the upper left corner has a bit of a chunk missing. I don't remember if Diablo does that or not. I think maybe it does. I know Titan Quest did that. So here's like a good example of what the loot looks like. And they do, some of them have level requirements, but others have point requirements. So because I'm full on finesse, I can't use these Vasil's War Boots, because I do not have any points in might. But if I wanted to, I could just start putting points into might. There's no, you know, I'm not locked in any classes or anything like that. But this character, I'm going full finesse build. And this is obviously an example of what a dungeon looks like. Now, unfortunately, I have a stealth character. I guess I could be stealthing these spiders. And did they activate? Ooh, okay, we can show off what the fate looks like. The stealth is not great in this game because of what you just saw. Like, enemies pop up and... it's hard to actually sneak up on them and even get like a single kill. So the stealth is not as good as, say, like a Skyrim. Although that one's still on. Okay, so this is a fate mode. This is something all characters can do. You basically become super strong. You start murdering everything in sight. And then, oh no, it's not letting me... I think I killed them too fast. Shoot, let me see if I can find more enemies to kill. At the end, shoot. I did a bad job of showing off the fate. So what it does is it enters this special fate mode where you get a kill. It's very dramatic and bloody, and then you get extra experience points. But unfortunately, I think I actually killed those spiders too quickly. Alright, so I think I can teleport back to the entrance here. Maybe not. Let's see. Cannot fast travel. Okay, so this is another bummer. You cannot fast travel out of dungeon. And a lot of them don't have a way of quickly getting back, which is something I appreciated from Skyrim. And kind of like Skyrim, it is all semi-open world, but there are loading screens between dungeons and shops, which the shop thing is really annoying. Every time you go into a building, it has to do a load, which the load times aren't that bad. But still. The way it's really structured, and I'll show you when I get back to the... well, I guess I can show you from here. So, very much Warcraft, or really like an old school MMO, where you see all these zones, and each zone might have like a town in the middle and a bunch of quests in there. And then other quests will send you to other zones where you'll get more quests and more things to do. You actually start here in Alistar Tower, and you basically eventually make your way from left to right. But this world is absolutely gigantic. This is a 60-hour RPG. Absolutely, and I have not even actually played the DLC. I played this game back in 2012, really enjoyed it. I did not play the DLC when it came out, and apparently THQ Nordic is releasing a new DLC next year in 2021, so that's really interesting. Not that this game, frankly, needed more content, though. It has a lot of content. So this is where this character is currently, in the Shade River Caves, and now I will show you... where my other character is, which I'm actually enjoying the Sorcerer better. Because the stealth stuff, you know, she can go into stealth mode like this, and it's got the eyeball that, you know, slowly reveals. But like I said, and you know, there's cool stealth kill animations, but you rarely be able to get the stealth thing off. So I was actually having a lot more fun with the Sorcerer build, which is this chap. And just, I mean, podcast game is the best way I can describe it. Like, it's a lot of fun, but you don't play this game for the story. It's just such a generic fantasy world. They try and do a different thing by having it be about fairies instead of like orcs and goblins. So it'll be like the winter court and the summer court, and there'll be sprites and spriggans and boggarts, that kind of stuff. And that's semi-interesting, but it doesn't really do enough. The world still looks very much like a, generic fantasy world, and none of it is particularly compelling. There's an evil faction that's rising that you have to go stop them, and otherwise just a bunch of kind of mini, little side quests and stuff that you do. And honestly, I just kind of skipped through most of the especially because I played it, once before back in the day, so all the way to completion, and I'm still enjoying it like this many years later because the gameplay is still just that much fun. So this is a different character. This is obviously specifically a sorcerer character, whereas my finesse character was armed with daggers and bow. This one has a staff, and you can see the staff animations has a cool 1, 2, 3 hit right there, which is really fun. And then the scepter is a long range, which see how that drains my mana as I shoot it, and you can also charge it and get off a really cool looking shot. And then he's got special things where if he goes into his block, and then he can actually do a different move by blocking and attacking, or blocking and sceptering, and then you've got a different charge attack. So all these different combo moves based on your weapons. And Finesse has daggers, Feyblades, which Feyblades are like Illidan's kind of cool curved swords, very nice. And the bow. Sorcerer has the staff, the scepter, and the chakrams. The chakrams are really awesome. The only reason I'm not using them now is because I used them the first time I played this game, but really fun, like dual circle things that you throw have really fun animations. And then Might has, I believe, a longsword, a greatsword, and a hammer. But I mean, come on, who's playing a warrior? Like, so much more cooler things to do. So currently my quest is to meet with these guys, and this one, went in a completely different direction. So whereas my other character was about the same level, and from here I went south and started doing all the content in here, this character went east and started doing the content in here. For the most part, when you enter a zone, it scales to your level. Now it might have certain limitations where it scales only so far up or down. And I believe that's one of the mechanical changes THQ Nordic made, is that it could actually change if you level up and then return to a zone. I think in the old game, the first time you entered a zone, it would always be locked to that current level. So it's kind of linear in that, you're probably not going to just run across the world. You do start in one corner and make your way there, but you can still choose what content you want to tackle. If you do want to tackle everything, you certainly can. I could just keep going this way and pretty much ignore like a lot of these entire zones, for example, or you could sit there and go back and get them all done because a lot of the stuff does scale. And it's just, I think it's a lot of fun content. It's worth doing. There are different factions, which is what the little flag you see on the right side. There's clearly a warrior faction, a rogue faction, and I guess is there a mage faction? I know it's the Fey are a faction. And the interesting thing is, their philosophy here was that they really, similar to Skyrim, where they didn't want you to lock you into any one particular faction for any reason. So because you're not playing a class, you can just join whatever faction you want. And the factions don't even, as far as I know, care if you do other factions. It's basically just a quest line that's related to each other. So, you can just do, as far as I'm aware, all of the content with one character, and you can not freely, but you can respec that character. The only thing you can't change is your race at the beginning of the game, and obviously if you're like male or female. So that was the only reason I have two separate characters here. And honestly, I would have kept playing the other character, but I found the stealth game pretty dissatisfying. So I started with the sorcerer character, and it's been a lot more fun from there. Alright, so now let's do a quest. And we're just going to follow these guys. I've got a protection spell around me, which you can see. I do have my fate charged up. You can see I'm playing with a controller. It's on PC, but I'm playing with a controller. Seems to be the best way to do it. And this character has the starter lightning bolt, which I've spec'd up. I guess I could show you the build. As well as a cool fire ability that you basically land it on people and then you detonate it later, which is really fun. But the skills are a lot of fun. It's very much Diablo-ish, where you start doing your abilities and you kind of unlock more. I guess not Diablo 3 though, because those have the rune ability. Although kind of similar. You end up, look at that. That one lightning spell, you can see you pretty much use that throughout, but it is able to do more and different things as you level up, and then you can level up your weapon skills, which do more damage, and then all of the different combos that I was talking about. So, but I could freely mix and match as much as I want, and that leads to a lot of really interesting, fun abilities. And you can see on the map, obviously I've got a bazillion markers right now because that's this quest apparently. I'm inspecting clues. But even non-active quests are still on my map, which is like the white circle, if they're in that zone. So they'll always be tied to that particular area. And it's got, you know, this local map so I can instantly see. The green are all harvestable reagents, very similar to Warcraft, where you run by and grab something. And they do a really smart thing where there's no animation at all for grabbing stuff. You literally just run by and grab it, and it's either you've got it or you don't. Like, I'll show you. Bam, I'm still running, no reagents found there. So it does a really smart thing where you don't have to waste a lot of time doing any of that, and you can just instead find everything. That's got some good stats, but it's really bad defense. So to the junk pile you go. You'll find lore stones scattered around, which actually have pretty fun little stories with them that you can listen in. Basically audio logs, but give you experience, so it's rewarding to search every zone for those, and there's shrines that'll give you buffs. They just do a really fun job with not wasting your time, letting you get to the fun as quickly as possible, and having, you know, combat is mostly what you're doing, and the combat is really fun. Somebody's screaming? I don't know. Okay. I've got one more to check on. Hopefully this leads to some good combat. Oh, somebody did die. Okay. I did not. What happened? We lost somebody. Not even looking at each other. I guess he's looking at everybody. And, you know, you can click on stuff and he'll talk about them and everybody. I mean, there's a ton of dialogue in the game, which is really impressive. But, like I said, it's just not... The world is just not very interesting. They kind of failed at making it interesting. It just feels very, very generic fantasy. But thankfully, the gameplay is really, really good. And that's basically why you want to play this game. Alright, hoping to get into some combat. Was this the wrong quest to choose? The world still looks pretty cool, though. And I think it helps that this, you know, exaggerated art style ages better than, you know, if they had tried to go for like a realistic model or something. Probably wouldn't have looked as good. Alright, we're finding a bunch of death everywhere. And as you can see, you've got the yellow exclamation marks whenever you come across a quest you can grab on the map. Very Warcrafty. That's what the Fae look like, which are basically people, but like super elves. We're going to finish the quest we're working on now. I'm hoping this leads to combat. So it's fun watching me walk around and press the A button. There's no... Oh, somebody else got killed. That's funny. It's a surprisingly a violent game, which I don't remember. Didn't see anything. The combat's a little bloodier than I recall. Like, I thought it was a T for teen game, and it's actually rated M for mature, even though there's not really any mature like dialogue or story, as far as I'm aware. But the combat can get bloody, and it just doesn't quite fit the art style, so I was kind of miffed about that. I'm not sure why they went for the R rating there. Oh boy. Alright, so let's put the mark on him, and then we can detonate it like that. Shock him, not even use any of my skills. That was just one dude. A Niskaru.
Never mind that. We've got to track.
What do we do now? Give me a moment. Okay. There's no enemies here. Oh, okay. Here we can show you. So it also does the Skyrim lockpicking thing, which is very much like, you know, is your lockpick gonna... Oh, there it goes. Now we gotta turn it a little bit. And we're good. Obviously that was a fairly easy lockpick, so don't have to worry about it too much. Throw those on the pile. For the most part, the game on the loot tables tries to tell what kind of skills you're using and give you good loot, but obviously not always. So a lot of times you're just throwing stuff on the pile. Am I just following you, dude? Okay.
Through here.
Ostadura. Some kobolds, I think. That's what kobolds look like in this game. No, they're not gonna let me fight anything, are you? Let's fight this guy. Oh, he's got a bear. Let's those on there. Ah! And then detonate it. Oh, that's so cool. He's got one that he can hold down the button. There we go. That's pretty much all his combos that I have already right now. Very satisfying, very fast-paced, very action-oriented. Even for a mage, like, it just felt very active. Alright, I left my dude behind. Come back, dude. What's that bear got on? That bear had gold. That bear robbed a man.
Here.
Come back.
Yes.
We lost all our red shirts, but I'm still here. Oh, there's a hidden chest somewhere. There it is. So one thing, ooh, not quite as good. It's kind of about the same. Yeah, we'll try it. I can show the, let's see, where are the skills? So the other thing, there is crafting, and it works pretty much very much like Warcraft. You find the ingredients, and then you can craft them as your skill goes up. You can use more of those ingredients. Detect Hidden seems to be one of the best skills in the game, because you'll pop things up on the minimap. That's why I can see all those things. There are gems to socket things. Persuasion is pretty much just with quest rewards. Dispelling is similar to lockpicking. Certain chests have another mini game involved. And you'll gain 1 per level there. So one added thing to the game, but Detect Hidden definitely seems to be the best. There we go. Those things are kind of cool looking. Oh, my. So I use my Fate. Let's go ahead and use the Fate. There we go. Now we got the prompt. Ooh. Alright, then we press A, and it's a quick time event. And it gets really violent. Remember that A button? Oh, shower of blood. You'll get extra XP for that. Still very weird that the game gets really violent right there. It just doesn't feel like it fits that art style.
Well, hireling, I'm going to
I have a
find
name,
out
sir.
what brought those things to Dalentarth. Come with me, and you might just make pledge shield.
Oh, that was my dream.
No, that's what I'll now by Eamon's book.
So he's wanting to go into the dungeon. Okay, so there's a couple like this where, you know, you can go off the beaten path and explore, but honestly, they do a pretty good job of layering all the quests. Look at all this. I mean, I've got a ton of different things coming up here. And basically motivating you to go to all the different dungeons and kill different creatures. So it's one of those where you just get this giant quest log, you can see here. The reason I've got multiple main quests is because they're DLC. But all of these side quests right here, you just grab a whole bunch of them, throw on your favorite podcast, and go to town doing a whole bunch of quests. We can show the level up. Let's see. I already bought the extra Detect Hidden. I don't know if I did. Let's keep upping blacksmithing, because eventually I think that gets pretty good. Sorcery, let's go ahead and max our staff, because we're using that a lot. Hey, we got our new one. Summon Faragorda. That's a whole... summon is probably pretty good. I don't have my 4th skill yet. Or Ice Barrage could be the 4th one. Sends a scattered blast of ice shards into the air, crash down upon your foes, dealing ice damage. Damage to shock, with 10% chance for shocking damage to propagate between enemies, increase stormbolt damage. And I can heal myself. Psh, I've got health potions. Who needs to heal? We've got health potions. Alright, let's do that. So I want to try... I think we're still just the initiate, working our way towards becoming a seer. And eventually we get a blink to replace our teleport, which is going to be pretty cool. Alright, and I think we got... yeah, there it is on the lower. So unfortunately you can only really equip 4 skills, 4 active skills. So you kind of, whatever build you end up with, you have to limit it to there. But because your weapon combos are so cool and varied, you know, I could do a whole combat encounter without using, oh shit, any of my skills. Ouch, I just drank a potion there.
Brings back memories.
I'll open this door for you, sir. Oh. I guess I have to wait for you to unlock the door. Is this a NPC required door?
Brigand halls, the path ahead will be littered with traps.
Great.
First, we need to get...
Give you a moment to think about how to open a door. Let's see my summon.
Come on, get moving.
Ooh, he's a skeleton. Okay. Now, does he actually follow me? He does. How cute. Let's see that he has any kind of timer, so I wonder if he just lasts until he's destroyed. Let's see how strong you are, little buddy. No co-op, it's definitely single player only. And I mean, it's basically like, what if... Oh, shit. What if... Okay, that's just a whole bad area. What if World of Warcraft was a single player game and had Skyrim style, like, skills and a classless system and minigames and Diablo style loot? And the answer is a pretty cool game called Kingdoms of Amalur.
You go around and throw the lever on the other side.
It doesn't...
Find the traps.
Oh, now I need to go my separate way. The HD remaster doesn't necessarily... Oh, good, he jumps down with me. Fucking hell. Doesn't really do a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of good bells and whistles, from what I can tell. Wait, this is just... running through this lookout. Oh, great. I don't have... There's no jump in this game, by the way. Great. Which is something I am bummed about. I'm really bummed that there's not a jump. You're by... Oh, that one. Hey, buddy. I lost my summon at some point. It makes the world feel a little limited and flat and old not to have a jump button, even if there's, you know, nothing to jump over, but, you know, because the world is designed that way, it's just not very vertical at all. So that's a bummer.
Most likely. Looks like the Niscaya.
Yeah, give me some freaking combat in here. Ooh, I knocked him on his ass. Heck yeah, that guy was all over him. Good job, Skelly boy.
This place has always lured thieves. Here they are.
We should burn it down.
And Niscaru in their place. You lead from here. I've got to think this.
This guy does a lot of thinking. A lot of thinking for a warrior. There is unique items, there are set items, socketable items. I mean, they just cover the whole Diablo loot table thing. Actually, go to this door. Yes. Probably get to the end of this dungeon, and then that'll be enough of a showcase of the gameplay, combat, dialogue. I think we've shown pretty much. We haven't shown the crafting. We've shown plenty of me running into traps. But like the crafting is, you have to go to town. I guess I could teleport to town after this dungeon. And as long as you have the recipe, you know, you can just craft whatever you need to craft, and you can make some good stuff. I've heard that if you up your blacksmithing skill enough, then you can make really good stuff. Ooh, those are better robes. 53 defense, and there are sockets. So yeah, I'll equip that. They do not look any different. I don't think you can socket stuff outside of town, though, which is a bummer. I believe you actually have to go to town to put your sockets in. You have to go to the, like, gem crafting station. There is a very small inventory limit, but you can also eventually purchase or upgrade your backpack somehow.
What's this? Bloody mages?
Bloody
Must be the
mages.
one that means they've got war-sworn blood on their the shortest, and to keep it from turning.
Let's get him, boss. I think my Skelly boy died, though. Ooh, what are they doing in here? if they interrupt you while you're channeling, you will cancel it. Drink that experience potion. Farlongi Archmage. The game camera definitely pans back when you're attacking, which can be a little weird. Oh no. Oh, he's gonna get stabbed, isn't he? Oh no, Eldora. You bastards. Aw, so sad. Time to loot his body. Venomous longsword. That's why I got killed. You had crap. Oh, what was your mission? To loot everything in here and kill everybody? So that's what I'm gonna do. There's still a little bit more of this dungeon left. Longer than anticipated. Traps. There is a sprint slightly faster, but you can see his default run speed is actually pretty fast. See, this would be a situation where I could sneak, but this character has no sneaking or daggers equipped. That's where the sneaking animation, and then their eyeballs will slowly fill up. I could pickpocket you with a 21% chance. That's funny. Anyway. Hello. Actually shocked him. Oh, nice. Those guys are not allied. So now, all of you explode. Really fun combination of just using spells and all your various things. Fall down. Weapon combos, you know, it's just all fun. Oh, that's good. Oh, good, there's no looting animation. I can show you the dispelling one. The dispel minigame is actually frustratingly difficult. I am full up on things. We'll give it a shot. So you have to click on these as they rotate around, which is... Oh, okay. Look at that. Well, that's an awesome set item for FNAF. Unfortunately, there's no shared stash between heroes. So that's going to have to go in the junk pile, but I cannot even equip it because I'm full of stuff. So we're going to have to destroy... Oops, that's a bug. That has nothing there. Is there anything... Alright, let's just destroy some of this stuff. Backpack space. Boo. Too small. Is there really more to this? Oh, there's another dispel. Maybe I'll screw this one up. Let's see here. Alright, as long as you do the small ones before the big one, you can generally get those done. That's an easy one, though. Eventually they get, like, way faster and more difficult. Shoot. Oh, that one got me. This is a particularly long dungeon, I guess, because it's associated with this quest. This is still part of that one quest chain that I started way back to go on the patrol. This has all been one quest.
Come forth! Come forth! Who dares? We are the Farlongi, and all shall fall before us.
Oh, snap. Alright, straight up Demon Boy. Oh, crap. You resist fire. That's not good. Oh, shit. That's really not good. All my shit's fire. Oh, he's doing some damage. Alright, can I summon buddy? Boy. Nope, go that way, dude. Go that way, dude. Attack! Attack, Skellboy! God. Oh, that wasn't far enough. Blocking definitely helps. Oh, except when I didn't block there. Alright, that does good damage. There you go. Get his attention, damn it. Shit. Oh, you gotta be at the right distance to do that one ability. I'm burning through health potions like nobody's business. Well, that's doing like 1 damage. I think this one has some lightning. There we go. Stay at that range. There we go. Oh, come on. Whew. Alright, that was a fucking boss fight right there. The death throes. Got some loot on you, sir. I will throw that one on the pile, and that's about it. Cool. I was not expecting a big boss fight there. Ooh. Oh man, it's a bummer. It's so much worse defense, yet it is part of a set, the Frostweave set. Oh, freaking inventory. Why? I need to look up how to get more inventory space. Oops, not that one. Because that is a little frustrating, as in all RPGs. I want to hold all the things. Rain the artifact, Shieldring Keep. So thankfully this one's long enough where the game does give you a exit from this dungeon. So that's Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. I really recommend it. If you have played it back in the day, then first of all, you're an awesome person, because it's, I think, a very underrated game. Not enough people played. It's still basically the same game that you remember. It's probably worth playing if you still want that, you know, podcast style experience. But maybe it's worth holding off until they release the new expansion, and probably the game goes on sale. It's probably when I would recommend picking it up. If you haven't played this game yet, ever, if you missed it, then I think it is very much worth jumping in and giving it a shot. I think it's hugely recommended. It's just a really fun action RPG that hits all the right checkboxes for exactly pretty much what I want out of this kind of game, minus the fact that the story is a bit of a snooze fest. Alright, so thank you all for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video.